As if you couldn't tell by the whiteout window there, it's cold and freezing and snowing in Michigan. And I know firsthand that because I went out today to Seven Lakes Park to try and take some photos. Note to self, coming out -4 degrees is not a smart idea. But in the spirit of keeping everything nice and frozen and cold, I figure we'll talk about the coolest, quote unquote, coolest knife that I actually own. And by coolest, of course, I mean by name-wise. And that knife would be, have it in my pocket right here, the Kershaw Cryo. Yep, that's right, we're finally gonna talk about the Kershaw Cryo. And with that being said, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because what sort of YouTuber would I be if I didn't tell you to hit that? Oh, and don't forget, hit the little bell also, so you get notified of all my new trash I throw out whenever the hell I feel like it. So without further ado, let's talk about the Kershaw Cryo. Okie dokie, pay no mind to that log cabin over there. It's sitting there for some ungodly reason, have no clue why. But we're talking about the knife. This knife being the Kershaw Cryo. So, as everyone knows, the Kershaw Cryo is extremely popular. You can literally go into Walmart and buy one of these guys, which, I mean, I think is actually really good that Walmart is now carrying a little bit higher brand of knife than the Ozark Trail knives. Yeah, let's not talk about those right now. But Kershaw is a really good brand. I have a couple of them, not a ton, but a couple. From all reports, they're really good, and I haven't had any issues with mine, so they seem like a really solid brand. And that's one of the first things that you notice when you pick up a Cryo is that it's a solid knife. This has some heft to it. All stainless steel handles, got a titanium nitride coating, kind of a gray coating, which I actually like the colorization of the Cryo. So this being a Kershaw, a lot of Kershaw, if not most Kershaws, are speed safe. And this guy's no exception. One little flick of the flipper there and pops right out. I gotta say, the speed safe feels really nice on this. This is a very good assisted mechanism. I don't feel like it's gonna have a failure to fire or anything. You know, it opens the knife up to about this point here, about 90 degrees, and then inertia just takes it the rest of the way. It has a pretty heavy duty spring. It'll kick in around that point right here is when the spring actually kicks in. And it's like a torsion bar in there, and you can see like deconstruction videos of this on YouTube. You're on YouTube. What the hell am I talking about? Go look up a deconstruction video of this if you want. So you have the flipper, obviously, if I could get it to work like that. You have the flipper and you have thumb studs. Now I find personally the thumb studs are a little tricky for me to open because this is a little small knife. Let's be honest with this, okay? This is a little bit smaller knife than I'm used to. I mean, I'm used to carrying a Benchmade 51, so you know, and this isn't even a folder, so I mean that's unfair comparison. But as far as folders go, it is a little more of a tiny knife. I don't think it's bad though. I mean, it's a nice size, especially if you're just using the flipper. I mean, it's not bad. Feeling wise in the hand, it feels really nice. It's really smooth. There's really no sharp edges. Got a little bit of jump gain, jump like the hood. I hate calling it jimping. I don't know why. It's textured. Got a little bit of that up on top, you know, so the knife doesn't feel like it's gonna fall out of your hand like it almost did with me there. I like on flippers how most of the time, if you got a well-designed flipper, the little flipper tab will actually act as a choil for your fingers, so you're not gonna slide forward on a knife. Let's talk about the blade shape here, okay? It has a drop point, spear point-ish blade. Blade terminology is one of those things I just kind of, you know, I don't really pay too much attention to. It got a swoopy blade right there. But overall, good blade shape for any sort of generalized cutting task. Has a bit of a swedge on top there, nothing too crazy. So as you can see here, it actually is ambidextrous. It has ambidextrous thumb studs. And that's another big point of knife. It's semi-ambidextrous because it is a frame lock. And it does have your hinder over travel stabilizer there. I just overcomplicated that. Your hinder lock bar stabilizer. There you go. That's a simplified version of it. So, I mean, you're not going to overextend that bar, but it is only right-handed as far as the locking mechanism goes. But as far as the rest of the functionality of the knife, it is a flipper and it has ambidextrous thumb studs. So you can use this left or right-handed. And pocket clip wise, it does have screw holes for tip up, tip down, left or right hand carry. So that's really nice. Pocket clip is deep carry. It is really nice deep carry. Although I feel like if you had it on the tip up configuration, it's not going to be as deep because if you see how that pocket clip is there, right here, it extends actually above the knife. So it's going to actually hide completely in your pocket. But these holes are a little bit farther down than these guys. So a little bit of knife's going to stick out of your pocket, but nothing too crazy, I don't feel. Flow through design, really nice and easy to clean out, which is kind of a good point of a knife like this because let's be honest, this is a knife that you're going to buy and you're going to use. It's not necessarily a really pretty knife. It's not a high-end knife. I think these go for about $30, $35. I'll leave my affiliate link to Amazon down in the description below if you want to take a look at that and help support the channel. But you can also just get these at Walmart because I mean, they're literally at any Walmart that I've been to. I mean, every single Walmart carries them. But so for the price, you're not really going to be worried about beating this thing up because $30, most people can afford that. As far as, I mean, quality wise goes, like I said, it's a heavy knife, so it doesn't feel cheap in any way. As you can see, the blade centering is spot on. I mean, it's perfect. Blade centering is perfect. I don't feel like anything's loose. It doesn't feel like a cheap knife. Lockup is rock solid. I mean, this is actually some of the solidest lockup lockup, dear Lord. Some of the solidest lockup I've actually ever felt on a knife. So it doesn't feel like a cheap knife. I mean, there are way worse knives that you can get for 30 bucks, and there are way worse knives you can get for more than this. I mean, I've had knives that cost more than this that don't feel this good. So the pros of this are that it's semi-affordable, you know, relatively cheap, has a great blade, fast, you know, speed safe is awesome, got nice heavy weight to it, build quality is awesome. Downsides though is that it is a little small and it is a little heavy. So depending on what you're going for this size knife is a little more weight than I'd like to see, but it's not bad. I mean, I know I keep going back and forth, but it's heavy, it's bad, it's heavy, it's good. You know, it's solid, but it's heavy. So just keep that in mind. You know, you're not getting a super lightweight knife. I mean, there's nothing drilled out in here. It's just pure steel. So it's a heavy duty knife, but I don't feel like it's gonna fail on you, especially with that hinder over travel there. It makes it a really secure, it makes it a really sturdy design where you're not gonna bend your lock bar out. It's actually something we should probably talk about. It's right there, you got your lockup. It's about almost 50%. So not horrible. I'd probably like to see it around maybe 30-40%, but you know, you're not getting anything perfect. Most of the time these guys are open in the package at Walmart, so you can actually check your lockup and make sure everything's, you know, all up to spec. So you can make sure everything's all good and you got, you know, a decent lockup. You can find a lockup that you like. Oh, and almost forgot, got to cover off the steel on this guy. People like that. Oh, it doesn't even say the steel. It says China. They are made in China. I believe the steel's HCR 13 MOV, so you know, standard kind of steel. You know, you're not getting the super steel. You're not getting S30V, S35VN, you know, any sort of composite steel with this. I'm not a steel snob, you know, but just if that's something you are picky about, you're not getting that with this knife. I mean, and you can't expect that for, you know, 30-35 bucks. So if the size of the knife does throw you off, they do make a larger version of it, the Kershaw Cryo 2. I believe it's a little more expensive, but it has a little bit bigger blade and a little bit bigger handle. I've been meaning to pick one of those up just to try it. Haven't got around to it. But yeah, so pretty much nothing else I can say about the Kershaw Cryo. Nice little knife, you know, for what it is, it's great. I mean, this would be a knife that if you were to pry whip it, I wouldn't get mad at you, okay? If you were to pry whip a Benchmade 51, like I carry around normally, you know, if you were to pry with this thing and you snap the tip off, I'd come to your house. If you pry with this little Kershaw Cryo, not really gonna get mad at you, because this falls in the category of a workhorse knife, in my opinion. You know, something that you can kind of abuse if you want because it's not super expensive, and if you break it, you're not gonna have a funeral for it because it's not a super expensive knife. I'm not just saying go out and destroy one, you know, but if it happened, it would have served its purpose well. But yeah, that's about it for it. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll leave you to the rest of your day. So hey, if you're interested, go pick one up. Go pick up 2, 3, 4. Just throw it in your toolbox. Throw it anywhere you want. Throw it at me. I'll take another one. I don't care. Just make sure it's not open. Someone had literally threw a cryo at me. The first time I handled a cryo, it was a coworker. He threw it at me. He was like, check this out. And he just chucked it my way. It was closed, of course. It was closed. Nah, I mean, it would have been funny if it would have been open. I would have grabbed it, you know, handle first and threw it back like a superhero. That would have been fun. That's a fantasy of mine, is to grab a knife out of midair when someone throws at me. No one really throws me knives that much, but I've got a couple tossed at me before.